Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob once again at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk more comics. And right now, like the intro to the 1960s Batman that I'm personally just, I liked when I was little. Tim Burton's 1989 Batman is one of my all-time favorite movies. I saw that movie so many times. I used to be able to like tell you word for word that whole movie. I love Batman. And when I was collecting comics back those days, Batman was kicking ass. Even when he was, you know, like during Nightfall, you know, it was like, what's going on? And so coming back into comics, I returned at the beginning of Tom King's run, literally. Batman #1, Rebirth, right? I was in a drought. Like I've told you guys other times you can watch my other comic reviews. When I came back, I had been out of the game for a really long time. I didn't know who was a good writer, who was a bad writer, blah, 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 blah. Still learning. Still not... I'm not going to say learning. Still getting back to appreciating what I loved about comics back then, while evolving as a comics reader, as an older reader. Older. Jesus Christ, I act like I'm 80 years old or something. So, now that I've read enough of Tom King to know that this is, like, sometimes I like it. Look, I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's all bad. I don't think it's all bad. But it has turned into a mess. It's a mess. It's a real... I don't think he really understands Batman. It makes me think of how The Dark Knight Rises, like Christopher Nolan doesn't understand Batman. By that movie, by his interpretation of Batman, I don't think he understands Batman. I don't think he does. Batman retires because he... So we get to Batman Annual number 4. This is on the heels of, you know, City of Bane. But most importantly, the spoilers, the death of Alfred Pennyworth. And so this, from the diary of Alfred Pennyworth, a Batman tale like no other. You're darn right. That's one thing that's true about this. It is. Because you gotta be real to just mess up this bad again. Because I really don't know if Tom King understands Batman. And other things, just kind of stories that just, like, some of this is really, it's like, Batman's a serious character, okay? This isn't 1960s anymore. You want to, like, take a little homage to it, fine. Because a lot of the art in here reminds me of, like, Tom, you know, like, old Kane, the original creator, the creator of Batman. Some of the art style in this reminds me of that. Like, they're trying to throw us back, but there's things in here that aren't throwbacks, that are clearly set in modern times, and just things that just don't make sense. And we're going to talk about it, because dang it, I sat here and read this thing. This is what I'm talking. This part right here, just ugh. I don't know how long I'm going to talk about this, but we're just going to cover this. So this is supposed to be okay. Let's just get this out of the way. This is told from the perspective of Alfred. See, what I thought we were going to get here was Alfred seeing the... Like, this was going to be about Alfred. He died. Let's talk about it. I know that City of Bane's going on, but I thought that they were going to tell a story that had to do with Alfred. And how he has impacted Bruce's life. Kind of how he's so indispensable. Why it's important that if you're going to kill him, tell us, you know, show us the impact of losing Alfred is. Tom Taylor has Alfred in his deceased book kicking butt. Batman dies, Alfred takes control, and just, you see how strong of a character he is in this zombie book. This is not about Alfred. This is about how Alfred sees Batman. I don't even know if it's that. He talks about him, you know, like, oh, his strength and all this and everything else. But there's nothing in here about Batman thinking about Alfred and his impact on Bruce's life. Nothing is in here that's like that. The only thing I can say about this book, this actual physical copy, is it's in pristine damn condition, man. So with that, let's just talk about how many things he messed. It's just weird, messed up. So we get this story about this cavalry gang, right? They're riding horses. They got these, what do they call them in here? Steeplechase horses. So they run. They're good at running. They're supposed to be, their plan, these guys' plan, okay, first off, this is just where, like, these guys are stupid. These guys are, like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia plan going on right now. Because their plan was to leap from building to building on horseback. I know this is comic books, guys, but this is Batman comic books. So fine, let the villains have this plan, but have Batman realize how stupid this plan is. Not be a part of it. So they're literally jumping from rooftop to rooftop on horseback, like as if they were trained to do this. See, I understand that they're steeplechase horses, but unless you train them, I think horses' instincts to just jump into the void of nothingness. You know, when you see horses have brains of their own, and horses, some people consider. I don't know that many horses, so I don't really have a frame of reference. But I think they're smart enough to know that if you're about to jump off a freaking building, even a horse is going to have a moment of pause. And probably send you flying off the building before it goes off the building. So you're supposed to think, oh, this is cool, right? And this is just me, maybe this is just me not being, the suspension of disbelief. But Batman comics I hold to a higher standard than this. I hold Batman to a higher standard than this. And so this first part is just silly. And it's just him, it's just Alfred recapping. And the other thing is like, you're probably gonna, and this is fine, but like you're probably gonna limit some of the people that read this book, besides collectors. Like if some people might not even read any of these, they just like to collect them. But when you're Alfred, you write in that very, very fine print. And let me tell you something. Not everybody's going to be able to read this without a magnifying glass. And some people can't read cursive. Just saying. So, there's that. So I don't even care. Like, it doesn't matter how the story ends. I mean, obviously Batman, this is just a series of little vignettes. They get faster and faster and faster till it's pretty much just, we get it. Alfred has been witness to a lot of events and seen his, the person that he raised turn into this great man. But that's... So we get this next part is about dragons, and it's fine. Actually, it's pretty cool looking. It's pretty cool looking, and I like it. I'm like, wow, this is not bad. You get dragons getting their heads cut off, and dragons coming out of other dragons. But then we get to this story of the UFA. So this is where I go, okay, it's in modern times, right? So this isn't cheesy 1960s Batman who would just, get into a fight, have shark repellent, or the Batman that's on Scooby-Doo. So this guy like wants to call out Batman, right? And he's like, Batman's ignoring him. He doesn't want to fight him because he's Batman. Why would you shoot this guy that called you out? This would never happen. This is something that would happen in like some older cheesy version of Batman. But this is modern day because it's UFA. This is like ultimate fighting. Okay, they didn't have ultimate fighting in the 60s and 70s. So you're supposed to believe that modern day Batman would fight this guy. Now, see, how do they get around this? Okay, because Batman doesn't just rise to the, he doesn't give this guy what he wants by being called names and things like that. Because that's what Alfred says, is, he says some terrible things that I won't repeat here. It's laughable. But, so how do you get around that? How do you get Batman to fight in a laughable situation? Well, you throw in the fact that the guy has a video showing him with cruelty towards women. Kind of like one of those videos where you see the football player beating his girlfriend in an elevator kind of situation. So with that evidence, Batman goes, all right, sure, I'll take your thing. I'll take your challenge. And then he just proceeds to beat him up and, yeah, whatever. So you had to put him in some sort of... And even then, would Batman go do it on live TV? I don't know about that. I just don't know. Then you got him like playing, like doing Clue. All right, this is like Clue. He's trying to solve this murder, and you get the cast of Clue over here, where he's supposed to solve this mystery of who did this guy in. That when you read this, any investigator, any private investigator worth his salt would know who did this. Because it all comes down to like one guy's story about how he lied about his archaeological travel, and he had said something that didn't match the actual facts about the pyramids of Egypt, and then that proved that the guy did it. What is this, like freaking Perry Mason, Simon and Simon? Even I don't know. Magnum PI could solve this. So they're not doing Bruce any favors with his detective skills, no matter how serious they make him look in here. Tom King, man, what are you doing? Then they get this story that is kind of this is fine, but there's like this story about how Bruce like went to prom and he like met this girl and he was in love once and then he went away and he never loved again. So he doesn't love he didn't love Talia al Ghul. He doesn't love Catwoman. Okay. And then they shoot over and they don't tell you in this section, all right? They just jump from he went to prom, he left to go to the East, he never loved again, and then they don't tell you that like this is years later, that he met the girl later and her whole life is garbage. And she's made all these mistakes and all she wanted was her lover back and all this. And it's just, it's sad, and it's actually not that, it's actually kind of sweet. If they just given me context right away, I would have had to figure this out. The best part of this book, though, so far is, I wanted to bring this up. Illinois Zone, where I live, Son of Svengoolie is getting advertised in DC Comics. Which goes, a staple of Illinois in my area where I live. I saw, one of my earliest memories is of Son of Svengoolie doing a 3D showing on TV in the 80s of the Creature from the Black Lagoon. You had to get like 3D glasses at 7-Eleven to watch it. And I actually posted on his Twitter account like, hey man, I remember this, and this is really cool that you're in DC Comics. And, because this guy's been doing this for 40 years. Literally, I was like 4 years old when he started doing this. So this is the best part of the book, is an ad for Son of Svengoolie on MeTV. MeTV is getting a shout out. MeTV is a UHF station here in Illinois. If the best thing that you have in your book is an ad, and then we get a police procedural thrown in here where it's the missiles are going to be, if you don't find the missiles, the guy on the train's going to wear a certain hat. He's never met the guy, so this gets Batman to be able to switch places with him. Because he's never seen the guy. That's the whole crux of this, so he can like fool him. Again, very police procedural, not very Batman. And then we get this like other dimensional thing where Batman is transported to meet this like crazy above, like this ultra intelligence from another reality. Like think Doctor Strange worlds, like places that he would go to. And Batman basically saves the world by saying, yeah, you may be this, that, and the other, but I'm Batman. And so he basically just kind of puts a mental whammy on the guy by saying I'm Batman guy. Not even guy. A cosmic being of unknown strength, power, origin. And he just brings Batman back. And so just so that we can say that Batman's not takes these incredible things in stride, right? And he's just like, what's next? There's Alfred. He actually makes an appearance in a book about him. Badass. And then it just speeds up. This happens, then this happens. We got mummies. We got whatever kaiju things. We got sharks and sunken submarines. We got all these things that Batman does. He fights dinosaurs. He's jumping right through the air, driving race cars. I mean, there was like a little sweet panel here where he's talking about how he, was there for Tim Drake on his dad's death's anniversary. One little picture. And it just goes and goes and goes. Just each panel, different date, him documenting Batman's events of the day. And that's it. That is it. That is it. DC Comics presents Every Day by Tom King. Alfred Pennyworth deserves better than this, Tom. The fans of Alfred Pennyworth, the fans of Batman, everybody that loves Batman and Alfred and in the whole world of Batman universe deserves better. Maybe there's something more coming. I don't know. But that's garbage. So don't read it. I don't recommend it to anybody. I don't recommend it to collectors. I almost wanted to do something, silly and just rip it to shreds, but I paid $5 for that thing. It's just going in the box. It's going in the box. Never probably to be read again unless I got some weird reason to flip through it one more time before I die or something. I don't know. Anyway, I think you already know how this review goes, right? I don't think I need to say anymore. So if you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications, all that jazz. Find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. If you want to talk to me about comics, you want to tell me how wrong I am, fine. I don't care. Otherwise, this is Rob from Smirky Gun Reviews saying we're going to be back with more comic reviews. I think we need to get back on track, Greg. So we're going to be talking about, I don't know, maybe we'll talk about Venom number 19 next. So have a great night. Keep reading comics. Go to your brick and mortar stores. Get comics anywhere you can. Otherwise, have a great night. We'll see you on the next one.